Well, welcome everybody to our brand webinar. These are webinars that we host every month right here at Get Healthy. And I'm so excited to have one of our favorite brands back, SIGRID, today. And we are going to be talking about addressing the gaps in your GLP-1 weight loss protocols. This is really important because we know metabolic health is at the forefront. We're seeing a lot of people on GLP-1 products and or injectable GLP-1s. So this is a sustainable, non-invasive approach to a long-term success. I'm really excited to introduce Dr. Eric Johnston today. He is the CTO and COO of SIGRID, and I will be doing that in a moment. My name is Dr. Tracy Stroup. I am the Chief Health and Growth Officer right here at Get Healthy Stores, and I just have a few things to share with you this morning. So I'm going to just jump into that, share my slide deck, and then I'm going to step out and let Dr. Eric take over this webinar. So first, welcome and thank you for spending your time here with us. I know that you have other things that you could be doing, and I really appreciate your time today. We are going to do a little bit of Get Healthy updates first. So we have some upcoming events that I hope you can join us, or we hope to see you. If you're attending any of these events, please look for us. Integrative Health Symposium in New York, New York. I will be there with Candace walking around. So if you see me, please stop and say hi. We're also going to be at the Des Bio Power of Three event in April. That's in Scottsdale, Arizona. And if you're interested in attending any of these, you can go to the websites and you can look them up and purchase your attendee ticket. Zymogen Experience, that's in April 12th. That's going to be a really great event. Hope you can join. And then, of course, ECO, that is Cellcore Biosciences, and May 5th in Boise, Idaho. So catch us there. Hope to see you. As a reminder, we do have the Get Healthy EDU. This is your free content tank for our practitioners. So if you just scan that QR code or even go to our website, you'll be able to find it. Don't forget to go check out some of our highlight courses, like the 5-day Get to $1,000 boot camp. That was a great one. It just gets you launched with your Get Healthy store. And the playback to this webinar will be housed in there under our brand webinars. So without further ado, let's get started. Dr. Eric, thank you so much for being here. I'm very excited to learn more about your great product.
Thank you. Super excited to take part in this too.
So I know you have a little slide deck that you're going to be sharing, so I'll step back.
Yes. Let's see here now. I just have to find that. There we go. And share. So can you see it?
Yes, we are good.
Excellent. Hi, everyone. So my name is Eric Johnston. I am SIGRID's CTO/CEO. We are still quite a small company, so you have a lot of responsibilities. And today I will be presenting for you about our supplement and addressing the gaps in GLP-1 weight loss protocols, using a sustainable, non-invasive approach for long-term success. And I just want to open up and set the expectations that even though we are addressing the gaps within GLP-1 weight loss protocols, I think it's important to set the expectations that what we're presenting here is a supplement. It's not a drug. So, I mean, the effects of our supplement is not as big as what you see with GLP-1s. So I just wanted to start out with saying that. Let's see, let's move on. So, SIGRID, who are we? Well, as I just said, we're still quite a small company, but we have big visions and great ambitions, I would say. We strive to empower people to take control of their metabolism and prevent lifestyle diseases such as type 2 diabetes and obesity through effective, safe, and non-invasive solutions. And of course, this is much easier said than done. But after a decade of research, development, and clinical studies, we have now launched our first product called Glucose Stabiliser. And as I said before, it's a dietary supplement that helps people lower their blood sugar following meals. I think it's important to point out that science is at the core of everything we do. We have over 10 patents. We have 8 peer-reviewed publications in leading scientific journals. And we collaborate with world-renowned institutes, such as Stockholm University, Karolinska Institute, Monash University in Australia. And we are also very proud to be the first Swedish company recognized among the Fierce 15, placing us among the world's most promising private medtech firms. And I believe that this is an acknowledgement of our commitment to the innovation, accessibility, and real-world impact. So we all know that the human body hasn't changed much over the last thousands of years, but our diet and lifestyle has transformed drastically. Today, our plates are filled with foods that are processed, so processed foods, fast foods, sodas, so on and so forth. And all of them are digested far too fast. And this creates a big issue as it spikes your blood sugar levels, then you crash following that, and then you get well, what that actually leaves us is what we say hangry, and then you start craving for more foods. So this vicious circle over time drives poor eating habits, weight gain, and eventually, chronic lifestyle diseases such as type 2 diabetes and obesity. Right now, more than 96 million Americans have prediabetes. And most of them, they don't even know that they have prediabetes. And without intervention, roughly, I'd say 70% of them will develop type 2 diabetes during their lifetime. About 1 in 10 have type 2 diabetes, and this number is growing at an alarming rate. And this has a lot to do with the lack of treatment options for prediabetics. Obesity is at an all-time high, where roughly 42% of American adults are classified as obese. However, what scares me a lot, or scares the shit out of me, to be honest, is that 1 in 5 adolescents have prediabetes, and childhood obesity rates, have more than tripled over the last 40 years. And this is a disaster. We're really facing a global epidemic driven by processed foods and poor metabolic health. So in recent years, GLP-1s, and all of you know that, GLP-1s have completely changed the landscape of obesity treatment. They have demonstrated a significant weight loss effect, with some patients losing up to 20% of their body weight in clinical studies. And with this success, the obesity drug market is projected to be worth more than $200 billion within the coming decade. Although GLP-1s have made a huge impact on today's society, they're far from perfect, right? They still have their limitations, where some of them being off-target effects. Up to 2/3 of patients stop taking them within 1 year due to different types of off-target effects like nausea, vomiting, or discomforts, right? Another issue is weight regain. So studies have showed that patients regain, or patients that stop taking GLP-1s, they actually regain roughly 2/3 of the weight that they lost. And this means in many cases that people that initiate the treatment must stay on the drug for life to maintain these results. But I think one of the biggest issues we see with the GLP-1 treatments are muscle loss. So GLP-1s don't just target fat, they also reduce lean muscle mass. And this is something that is extremely negative, right, for long-term health. And if we look at the graph to the right, and what I previously said, right, is that people that stop GLP-1 treatment, they regain roughly 2/3 of their weight. However, the issue here is that the 2/3 of their weight that they regain, none of that is actually muscle tissue. And this is a big problem, right? So, based on this, the question is, would it be possible to create a more sustainable, effective, and accessible approach to weight management? And here we believe that our supplement, glucose stabilizer, could play a role. So what we do at SIGRID and why we believe that we would be a contribution, well, that is because we turn fast food into slow food. And we don't just mean hamburgers, pizza, and true fast food. I mean, if we look at today's modern diet, it's packed with processed foods if you just go down the aisles in the grocery store. And these foods, as they're more processed and they become more and more processed over time, I mean, they will digest extremely fast in your body, far too fast. Some of them, they don't even need to be digested at all. And this is a big problem because, as I said previously, this leads to quick energy spikes, bad metabolic health, and long-term problems such as obesity, type 2 diabetes. And it's here that we believe that our patented SIPOR technology comes in. We slow down digestion, and by slowing down digestion, we're able to reduce the negative impacts of our modern diet. So this is a very busy slide, but I think we should focus on three main things, maybe a couple of more, but what is SIPOR? What is the SIPOR technology? How does it actually work? And why does size matter? So SIPOR is a silica-based platform technology that consists of micron-sized mesoporous silica particles, which are precisely engineered, or their pores are precisely engineered to entrap a portion of the digestive enzymes, amylase and lipase, within your small intestines. This then translates to a slower and reduced uptake of energy in the form of carbohydrates and fats. And if we look up to the right, we can see the graph there where we have the green line, which represents your blood sugar levels following a meal without SIPOR. And then we have the orange line where we have the same type of meal, where we can see that if you consume SIPOR together with your meal, you will actually slow down and reduce the uptake of energy from carbohydrates and fats following these meals. So how does this actually work, and what is SIPOR? So as I said, the particles are micron size, which means that they're very, very small. You can't see them with the naked eye. But these small silica particles contains tailored pores. And these pores are then reverse engineered based on the size of the digestive enzymes. So these pores are roughly 10 nanometers big. So when you consume our product, Cypor, it goes into your stomach, it mixes with the food, then it passes down into your small intestines, where the pancreas releases well, the digestive fluids containing amylase and lipase. And as these pores are tailored to the size of amylase and lipase, they actually entrap specifically those two enzymes and nothing else. And this is based more or less on, it's like a mechanical sieve. So more or less it's like size exclusion chromatography. So what this means is that if we have small molecules or biomolecules, they will enter into these small pores within our particles. However, as they're so small, they will diffuse in and then diffuse out. If we look at amylase and lipase, they are of the perfect fit. So once they actually diffuse into the particles, they actually get stuck there. And then we can look at bigger molecules, such as the food stuff. They are actually too big to pass into the pores. So the only thing that actually will go into the particles and be entrapped in these particles are actually the two digestive enzymes, amylase and lipase. So here, now relating back to what I said about size, the pore size of our particles, and that all of the pores in our particles are of identical size, 10 nanometers, is extremely important. The size of the particles itself is also extremely important. And this is due to us wanting to be a non-invasive technology. We want our particles to work within your small intestines. And we also want them to just do their work there and then be passed out, let's say, the normal way. We do not want a systemic absorption of our particles. And to be able to ensure that we don't get a systemic absorption of our particles, they have to be of a certain size. And it needs to be above 1 micron. We have done a lot of internal studies to actually make sure that these particles do not enter systemically, that they're not broken down within your intestines, and that the amount you take actually comes out within your feces. So we have done several clinical studies on our Cypor technology where we have actually proven this. We have proven that the technology is safe, looking at very many different types of blood parameters. We have looked at the particles passing through your digestive tract to see what's actually at work. And then we extract them out of the feces to actually be able to analyze what's in these particles. And the only thing that we can find within the particles are the two digestive enzymes. I also want to point out, because this is a question we often get, is that, well, if you absorb things in your intestines, what about, have you seen any malnutrition? No, we haven't. Have you seen any absorption of different types of minerals? No, we have not. We have not seen any type of absorption when it comes to fat-soluble and water-soluble vitamins. So this technology is extremely safe. And silicon dioxide is something that's been around since the 60s, and this is the main reason why we chose to work with silicon dioxide. It is natural. It's the most abundant mineral on the planet. So it exists everywhere. So based on that also, we don't have to be worried that what actually comes out after treatment is something that would be toxic for the environment. So we usually say that our product is as gentle to the environment as it is to the human body. So now that I have told you a little bit about the mechanism, how Cypor works, I think it's time to actually talk about what this actually translates to in the human body and why it matters for metabolic health, and how this could be a part of a solution to metabolic health changes. So as I said, you consume the particles, they pass into, or it's actually capsules, but inside of these capsules, we have millions of these small particles. So they go into your stomach, and then they pass into your small intestines. And here they actually entrap a fraction of the digestive enzymes. And I think this is important to point out, that we don't absorb all of the enzymes, all of the lipases, or all of the amylases. And this is important from a, say, off-target effect. So in our studies, as we don't absorb everything, we do not see the side effects that has been seen with, say, acarbose or Xenical. I think it's called Ali in the US. We have not seen any type of oily stools. And we believe that one of the reasons for that is that our pores are, or our particles are actually porous, which means that the undigested oil or fats within your feces gets sucked up by the particles. So when this happens, this actually, or we have proven that by lowering the amount of amylase and lipase, we slow down the digestion. And this lowers postprandial blood sugar spikes and translates over time, if done multiple times a day, to a lowering of HbA1c. I think we call it A1c in the US. And this enables people to have a chance to reverse or perhaps even stop the progression of prediabetes into type 2 diabetes. By reducing the speed of the digestion and also reducing the calorie uptake, we can actually use this as a weight management therapy. We have also seen, and I'll go through that later on, that people feel fuller for a longer time and reduce their urge to snack. And this, of course, translates to a reduction in body weight and fat mass over time. So why we believe that this is a solution for metabolic health and metabolic changes is that it actually minimizes the impact of the modern diet. It's important to point out that it's non-invasive and therefore extremely safe. We also believe that, based on not having the side effects that's been shown with the GLP-1s and other weight management supplements, this is something that people can be on a very long time. So it's sustainable. And it's also very cost effective. So it will be accessible to a broader population. So based on our Cypor technology, we have, well, roughly a year ago, launched our first product in the form of a supplement called Glucose Stabiliser. And this offers a new innovation or innovative solution, I would say, to stabilize blood sugar and reduce postprandial blood sugar spikes. Based on the mode of action of our technology platform, our clinical studies and customer survey results, we can with confidence say that glucose stabilizer helps people feel fuller for a longer time. It curbs their cravings and supports them in weight management. Also, it reduces the blood sugar crashes following meals, as it reduces the blood sugar levels or the blood sugar spike following a meal. And this keeps people more energized throughout the day. However, I think it's very important to point out that as it's capsules, it's very easy to use. You take 2 capsules twice daily with your main meals, so it will fit seamlessly into anyone's daily routine and help them manage their metabolic health, pre-diabetes, or weight issues. So here we see, let's call it a classic GLP-1 agonist treatment journey. So a patient comes in, they are overweight, and they want to lose weight. And most likely they know what they want before stepping in the door in the doctor's office. They want the GLP-1s because they've heard about the GLP-1s, they've read about the GLP-1s. They haven't taken the GLP-1s, so they don't really know about the side effects yet. Of course, they've read about it, but they haven't felt it. That's where they start. And then most likely they're put on the therapy because, being doctors, we want to help the patients and, of course, perhaps make a buck. So they initiate the treatment, and initially, people are very happy and satisfied. It suppresses their appetite a lot, and they see a rapid weight loss. However, they also discover some of the side effects here. But most likely, people, they don't mind the side effects as long as they see the rapid weight loss. However, after a while on the GLP-1s, the effects start wearing off, of course. So they see less results, perhaps not any results at all. They still suffer the side effects, and they start thinking, is it actually worth it? And many of the patients come off within a year. And after the treatment, well, then they have the issues of weight regain, right? As I previously said, many patients regain roughly 2/3 of their weight. And that is fat. And at this stage, they most likely lost a lot of muscle mass, which means that their basal metabolic rate is worse than when they started, and they need to eat less than when they started, but they'll still be gaining weight. And this is an issue. So, as mentioned before, GLPs, they are very effective. We do believe that they'll be here to stay. They're not going anywhere. So, but we do see the side effects. And based on this, we believe, or we see, glucose stabilizer being positioned in 2 different ways, or perhaps even 3 different ways. So one way to actually use glucose stabilizer would be to just use it as a sustainable weight loss treatment over an extended time period. It's well tolerated, as I said before, non-invasive. It's affordable. It's roughly 10 to 15% of the cost of a GLP-1. And you can use it for long term, which is very positive. Something to point out that's important too, in our studies, we have not seen any effects on muscle mass loss. And this is super important. The second way we believe that this could be positioned is actually to help people sustain their weight loss following a GLP-1 treatment. It will support weight stability. So, I mean, as it reduces cravings and hunger to a certain extent, not the same extent as a GLP-1, we believe that this will be very helpful. It's affordable, as I said previously, easy to use. So it would be suitable for such a transition. The third way I mentioned is that based on SIGRID's or Cypor's mode of action, it works locally within the gut. We don't have any systemic absorption. We have not done any clinical studies on this. I need to point that out. But we do believe that they could be combined with a GLP-1 treatment, as the mode of action is so different. So if we have a closer look at the GLP-1 therapies and why we believe that glucose stabilizer is an excellent companion product, I mean, we can look at what I already mentioned before, right? That GLP-1s, they've been a game changer and they're here to stay, but they do have their limitations, right? So 2/3 of patients stop within a year due to side effects. In average, people regain 2/3 of their weight stopping treatment. We see the muscle mass loss, the high cost, and of course, I mean, it is injections, right? And this will reduce compliance. If we look at glucose stabilizer, it is well tolerated, and we have clinically proven safety. We have very good safety profile, as earlier mentioned, and we have not seen any severe side effects. It will help sustain weight. It will preserve your muscle mass, as we have not seen any muscle mass loss. It's affordable and non-invasive. So this makes glucose stabilizer, from our perspective, the ideal partner for managing weight and improving metabolic health. So this is my final slide for today. So for this final slide, I would like to go over some of the key results from our recent customer survey. And in this survey, we had 152 participants using our product, and they have reported a significant, or let's say a majority of the people in this study have reported more stable blood sugar levels and fewer postprandial blood sugar spikes. Many of them that measured it have experienced a reduced A1C level over time. They felt fuller for a longer time. They experienced a reduced urge to snack. They were snacking less, and this is very positive from a weight management perspective. And something that we hadn't really expected, but it's coming back to us a lot, and something that people really appreciate is that they get less bloated after meals when they consume our supplement. So I think the conclusion is that these results really shows Cypor or glucose stabilizer's potential to be excellent companion when it comes to the GLP-1 treatment. And yeah, that was everything from me today. And yeah, let's open for some questions if there are any.
I have questions.
Yeah.
I always have questions. Actually, I just like to have conversations. So first, before everybody leaves, if they have to jump, because I know some people are, it's 9 a.m. and for others it's noon. We appreciate you being here with us. If you want to stay for the Q&A, if not, this will be in the Get Healthy EDU. Don't forget to add this to your Get Healthy store. This is in your product catalog. As you can see, it's pretty revolutionary. It's a game changer. We know that GLP-1s are here to stay. I personally love peptides of all kinds. I use them in my practice all the time. But I think everybody is very GLP-1 focused versus understanding how peptides really work in the body. And you're correct, Dr. Eric, the overdosing of them, the extreme use, the long-term use, which is not how they were originally positioned. The off-labeling use of them is causing some issues. And
Mm,
you are right. The compliancy of sticking yourself with a needle a few times a week, people don't love that.
yeah.
So the way I look at your product is, an exit strategy to an industry that's going to need help in about the next 3 to 6 months.
Mm,
Will always be new people onboarding with GLP-1s or, GLP-1 and GIP, tirzepatide, things like that.
yeah.
But it doesn't have to be if we have an exit strategy for those people that the system failed and for people
Mm,
that are interested. The cost is astronomical. There's no guidance. And I think with the practitioners that are here today, what I hear you offering is a solution that is affordable, easy, with minimal side effects. So I hope you guys really look into it. Um, some of the contraindications as well with GLP-1s or GLP-1s and GIPs, thyroid issues, if you've had cancer
yeah.
in the past,
Yeah.
pancreatic issues. Do you see any of those contraindications in the use of your product?
No, we haven't. And I think one of the m most important factors, right, behind us not seeing very much side effects, or
Hmm.
well, I shouldn't say no side effects, right, is that it's not taken up systemically. It's local. It works locally, right? What we have seen, and I think we should be transparent with that, is that if people are not following the instructions of use, which means that you should consume at least one additional glass of water together with our product, then some people can become a little bit constipated, right?
Mm,
And we have gotten some feedback on that from some people. We have asked if they actually take the product as they supposed to, and of course, many people, they don't consume enough fluids, right? However, when instructing them that they need to drink that additional glass of water together with our product, those problems have been solved.
right. Well, that's a good point because most people, I think it's pretty safe to say that most people that have metabolic disorder or overweight walking into even a GLP-1 use or a product that is going to enhance metabolic function, they already have a level of gastroparesis where their
Yeah.
motility is already offset. Their pancreatic enzymes are already not as optimal as they should be. Their digestion's not optimal. And then you add a product that is going to modulate digestion. And without the
Mm.
foundations being in place, they blame the supplement or they blame something else. So just so the practitioners here are hearing foundations first, always, right? We're always talking to our patients and clients about eat right, think right, move right, poop right, pray right, do all those things right.
Mm.
And then the supplements are kind of like the cherry on top. So,
Mm.
any contraindications from Jin in the chat? Anything at all that you can think of with your product, Dr. Eric?
Well, I mean, so we have done studies, right? Something that I think is important to point out also is that, I mean, we have not fully looked into to drug interactions, so interactions of our product with other types of drugs. We have looked at statins, we have looked at metformin, if there's any type of interaction with these drugs, and there's not. Of course, I don't believe that there's any type of interaction with injectable drugs, so most biologics. However, as we haven't looked into this in detail, something that we do say is that if you consume any type of oral medication,
Mm,
it's better to be on the safe side, right? And separate that medication with at least 2 hours from taking our product.
okay. Yeah, something like taking a binder. Like I think a lot of the practitioners here use
Yeah.
binders in the form of activated charcoal, zeolite, bentonite.
Mm,
So we know to space those out from other supplements, medications, and food. So let's talk a little bit about kids because we're seeing that GLP-1s are being approved for the use in children. We
yeah.
had a great lecture done by a pharmacist, PhD,
Okay.
and she talked about preconception health. She talked about the fact that mothers and fathers have preconceptions, basically will bestow their biological preconception deficiencies into the fetus. So we know that certain
Mm,
things can pass, like Lyme disease and things like that.
mhm.
She said the health of the mother and the father contributes to neurological and metabolic deficits in the children. And we're seeing that explode now. We have more children that are obese than ever in the history. And children that are on medications earlier than ever that are being diagnosed with diseases that used to be known as my grandpa's disease, right? High cholesterol,
Yeah, yeah,
high
yeah.
blood pressure, metabolic disorder. What would your take be on using something like your glucose stabilizer with kids? Have you done any studies on that yet?
I think that's an excellent question. And to answer that, no, we have not done any studies in kids,
Mhm.
but we know that we have a very good safety profile and we don't have any systemic absorption.
Mhm.
So, I mean, what we will be looking into, and we believe that we could get this fast tracked, is actually pregnant women that
Mm,
develop type 2 diabetes. And, I have very many friends where this has happened. And their
yeah,
doctors say that, we can't do anything about it, more or less. It doesn't really matter. It won't affect you in the long run. It doesn't matter what you eat, and it won't affect your fetus.
right.
That
None of
is
that
not the
well
case, right?
technical.
No. So I think it's very important to have something there that helps pregnant women. And as our product is not taken up systemically, we do see the potential there, right?
Right.
Also relating back to the excellent safety profile, we do believe that this would be something that would be excellent for children,
Hmm.
right? Both pre-diabetes, maybe perhaps even early stage type 2 diabetics, of course, drug naive. But yes, we do see a very big potential there.
Yeah. Well, just to touch on your point, because I know you haven't done any studies on utilizing this in conjunction with current injectable GLP-1s or GIPs. Um, I have seen in my
Mhm.
clinical practice, and this is not the opinion of SIGRID, this is me talking,
Mm,
that when you fix metabolic health, when you fix the gut, when you fix the motility, when you fix the dysbiosis that they're experiencing, when you fix the foundations, when you fix the nutritional gaps, the need for a higher level of injectable goes down.
yeah,
So with those listening, what I've provided in my practice is a safe space. Like I tell people, like if you're on a GLP-1 injectable, come to me, I'll help you. Like I have
yeah.
no preconceptions over it. You did what you thought you needed to do. If you feel left behind,
Mm,
whatever, like let me offer you the safe space and let me try to help you with an exit strategy because they don't
yeah,
want to pay that price every month. They just don't. Um, what I have seen is just the need of that going down. So maybe somebody comes into my clinic on 20 IUs a week of tirzepatide, that
okay.
can substantially be cut down until we can wean them off
Mm,
utilizing products in the industry. So I don't know specifically about SIGRID. I'll find out for you though. I'll put it in with a
mm,
couple of people and find out. Um,
mm,
but with that said, just as a monitoring fact for the clinicians listening here, make sure you are monitoring blood sugar, glucose, and even like using CGMs would be really beneficial because if people are using injectables and we as clinicians have to kind of be the detectives of that person's health because they're not going to be as educated to watch for factors. Or if their symptoms start to increase, I usually tell people as you get healthier, the medication becomes the issue. And
mm,
so even like watching blood pressure meds or, if they're on metformin using the product, you would have to watch glucose the same way you would have to watch it with a GLP-1. So maybe that's just a little
Yeah.
clinical pearl people can take out. So if there are any other questions, feel free to post them in the chat, or if Dr. Eric, if you'd like to leave us with any closing remarks.
No, but I think that, I mean, I know that people come into your clinics, right? And they, as I said previously, they do believe they know what they want, right? They
Mhm.
want the GLP-1s. I always think that, perhaps that's not possible always, but that you should start with minimal dosage, but also perhaps start with something that would be milder initially. I know that's not what the patient wants to hear. They want quick results, they want direct results, they want the results now. However, I don't think I think you need to look at weight loss and health in the long term. It's not a 100 meter sprint, right? It's a marathon, and it's something that you need to be able to stick to your entire life. And I think it's a little bit, the same thing as putting people on antidepressants. Once you start them on it, it's going to be hard to come off. They're
Yeah.
kind of hooked. They will be dependent upon it. And as I said, if you start a patient on GLP-1s, I mean, they will lose muscle mass. Their, overall metabolic rate will go down. And this is kind of like a chemically induced 2025 yo-yo dieting. This is
Mhm.
what it's going to become, right? People are going to lose weight, gain weight. They've lost muscle mass. They need to go on it again. They'll lose even more muscle mass. And in the long term, this is going to be detrimental.
Yeah, absolutely. The overdosing of it has caused some issues.
Mm.
And, I never recommend to clients, I mean, peptides are peptides, but they should be tertiary. They should never be a first therapy. They're not magic unless you abuse them, which is what we're seeing. You know what I mean? So if you abuse
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
you take too much thyroid med or you take too much vitamin C, you're going to be in the bathroom all day. It's not the vitamin C's fault that it's been recommended wrong. And
yeah.
we've never seen semaglutide and tirzepatide for weight loss ever in the industry until the last 2 years. So it's a
Mm.
brand new thing. And you're right, people want what they want. So as practitioners, I think we have to have other things in this place of what
Yeah,
people are coming in, because what they really want is to feel better, to lose weight, to be able to do
yeah.
things with their grandkids and their kids, to not be such a stigma in society as they feel.
Mm.
There is a lot of emotional and mental stress that gets wrapped around people that are overweight and have been overweight for a long time and have tried everything. And so when
Yeah.
you approach them with, well, here's one more thing to try, they're like, no, 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 I know this works and I don't know about that. So I think the clinical studies that you've provided us, if the practitioners want those, we will make the
Yeah.
slide 6 available, because that is very powerful to show somebody who is a doubting Thomas, right? They're like, no, I've tried
Hmm.
everything. I think the clinical trials and studies that you have run are
Yeah.
extremely powerful. And it's not a norm in the industry for the supplement world. We don't normally see
No.
that. So we really appreciate all the diligence you've done. Guys, this is a great product. I'm telling you, it's going to be a revolutionary product in the industry. So don't forget to add it to your store. And you can also reach out to SIGRID so that they can get you a supply for your in-clinic office
Yeah.
as well. Wholesale accounts are available, I would imagine, for our clinicians.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, Dr. Eric. Great presentation. I learned a lot. And thank you to SIGRID for being part of the Get Healthy catalog. Don't forget to add this to your store. And also reach out to them for direct wholesale options, because we can always provide you with their email. Just hit us at marketing@gethealthy.store. All right, guys.
Excellent. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.